The internet is going crazy. Rumors are circulating. In addition, Atlanta's streets are vibrating with a level of intensity not seen in years. Welcome back to the heart of the storm, where it's harder than ever to distinguish between loyalty and treachery. The whole love and hip-hop community is in shock as we plunge headfirst into a maelstrom of rumors and conjecture on social media. Imagine a situation where a marriage that has undergone court cases, jail time, and constant public scrutiny is now being investigated due to some startling new allegations. There are rumors that Sierra Gates, Smith Harris' sister, and her husband, Mendeecees Harris, were involved in multiple compromising situations. These charges are true. This is the ultimate treachery. The whispers are getting louder. Can you imagine how much of an impact this will have? According to reports, Yandy, a successful businesswoman who has always put her family first, is experiencing a heartbreak that could end her life. Using a trail of digital breadcrumbs, fans are compulsively piecing together whispered conversations and late-night encounters in the shadowy corners of upscale lounges. The quiet from the inner circle is merely fueling the fire for the Harris family, whose anxiety is thick enough to cut with a knife. Is this the end of an era? In this reality TV drama, is Sierra really evolving from best friend to ultimate villain? Every assertion, every emotive social media post, and every mysterious hint that this drama is ready to blow up are all being examined. Keep checking back, because the information that has surfaced on Yandy's purported answer is enough to break even the strongest hearts. Everyone is left wondering who they can truly trust after the cameras stop recording. This cultural transformation, which goes beyond simple gossip, caused the fire to start in the most humble way possible, before making their way into the public like a tidal wave of conversation and conjecture. Many grainy photos began to circulate on obscure gossip blogs. These pictures, taken on a normal Tuesday afternoon while people were reviewing their accounts, showed what appeared to be BC Sierra and Mendeecees standing rather close outside a private home in the hills. They didn't appear to be two pals filming apart for the program or simply catching up on business. And it was their body language that truly ignited the internet. Rather, there was a feeling of intimacy and secrecy that didn't seem appropriate for two individuals who should belong to the same extended family. Fans looked more closely at Yandy's recent social media activity after the story went viral and discovered that she had been unusually quiet for a few days. Usually, she is the first to share a motivational statement or a behind-the-scenes glimpse at her hectic life as a mother and CEO. But the silence was overpowering and resonated with many who know how the company operates. As people began to wonder how long this had been going on behind closed doors without anybody noticing, the whispers turned into loud accusations. According to those claiming to be connected to the production, the problem actually began weeks ago during a high-profile event when Sierra and Mendeecees were spotted conversing for almost an hour in a corner while Yandy was occupied entertaining guests on the opposite side of the room. Since Sierra has always been seen as a loyal friend, it received little notice at the time. However, every encounter is being re-examined with mistrust and skepticism now that these fresh accounts have surfaced. Viewers who have followed Yandy's story over the years, seeing her fight to maintain the fort and her marriage while Mans was away, will find the betrayal intimate. Anyone would be overcome with emotion at the thought of someone they trusted so much being brought up in relation to their husband's infidelity issue. Friends of the couple are allegedly compelled to take sides in a disagreement that hasn't even been made public yet. It's also believed that Atlanta has a really heavy vibe. According to insiders, Yandy initially rejected the accusations and even stood up for Sierra against the initial charges, claiming that people were merely attempting to undermine successful Black women. However, she was unable to ignore the disturbance as more information surfaced and more individuals reported seeing the two of them together at strange hours. People who have lately seen her describe her as a shell of the person she once was, attempting to keep her cool while the public watches as her personal life collapses in real time. Her face is reportedly showing signs of anguish. The most startling aspect of these stories is the potential for video footage that is simply waiting to be made public and would offer indisputable evidence of what has been going on behind closed doors. The whole reality TV industry is anxious as they await this possible proof, wondering if it would be the last straw. That destroys a lot of relationships. Sierra has been largely quiet in the meanwhile, making cryptic remarks about minding her own business and concentrating on her luggage. But these remarks are just aggravating. The public, Fans are accusing her of the ultimate betrayal of a woman who did nothing but support her, flooding her comments with snake emojis and demanding explanations. Even family members are beginning to use their own platforms to voice their amazement and disgust because the drama has reached a breaking point. It is said that Mendeecees' inner circle is split. Some say they saw the warning signs months ago, while others think someone with a grudge is setting him up. Everyone in this close-knit group could suffer significantly more from the possible consequences due to the intricacy of the situation, which is full of shared secrets and years of history. As the hours go by and more anonymous sources provide information to the media, the image grows more unpleasant and apparent, revealing a network of lies that may have been created over an extended period of time. Those close to Yandy describe her response as a mixture of icy rage and genuine agony because she didn't anticipate the call coming from inside the house. This strike feels like a direct assault on her spirit and everything she stands for in life because she has based her entire career on loyalty and family values. According to stories, there was a violent altercation that took place behind closed doors, making everyone in the building tremble as they exchanged words that are irreversible once spoken out loud. Yandy allegedly wanted to know the truth once and for all while gazing at the ones she loved the most. Accusations were flying and tears were streaming down her cheeks. As you were starting a new life together, nobody should have to worry about if your husband and closest friend were making fun of you behind your back. Fans are analyzing every old video of the three of them together in an attempt to spot any chemistry or subtle glances that they might have missed the first time. The story is changing from one of camaraderie to one of deliberate treachery that went unnoticed for far too long. Everyone's mental health is suffering as a result of the circumstance as public opinion pressure is growing and doesn't seem to be decreasing. For a family that has already experienced so much over the past 10 years, every new headline feels like a setback. Certain details, such as dates and locations that appear too real to be entirely made up, are included in some of these reports. This adds to the overall scary appearance of the event. Many interpret the quiet as an admission of guilt, or, at the absolute least, a sign that the legal teams are making a greater effort to limit the damage as they wait for an official pronouncement. In the small world of celebrities, news like this spreads like wildfire, leaving a path of damaged reputations and betrayed trust in its wake. Even when the truth tries to surface from the layers of rumors and conjecture in front of millions of people who are waiting for her to do so, the focus remains on Yandy and how she will manage this difficult route. As the countdown to the next big disclosure begins, everyone in the entertainment world is holding their breath to see what happens when this explosive chapter of their life finally comes to a conclusion. The emotional stakes are exceedingly high, and tension is visible everywhere. When we turn the page and begin examining the alleged secret meetings that took place in locations throughout the city that were off-limits to cameras, the narrative only becomes more intricate and meaningful. The covert encounters are said to have moved to low-key locations that they believed were totally hidden from the fans and photographers, rather than being restricted to brief sightings outside private dwellings. According to insiders, Sierra and Mendeecees had a system in place that used encrypted texting and burner phones to coordinate their movements so they would never be observed arriving at the same location at the same time. According to the reports, they would frequently congregate in nearby cities or peaceful suburbs, where they felt at ease blending in with the general population without constantly worrying about being detected. A late-night encounter at a boutique hotel where a staff member appeared to identify them despite their attempts to cover with hoodies and sunglasses is one such occurrence that has shocked the community. The neighborhood was stalked. According to this insider, there was an obvious chemistry between them and it didn't appear like a business meeting or a casual get-together among family friends. After they supposedly got into a lift together and didn't return for several hours, there were even more heated rumors about how serious their relationship was. The public is finding it more difficult to remain skeptical, despite the fact that these stories are still only reports and have not been verified by any official sources. Yandy loves her intuition and her ability to read people, therefore these rumors are claimed to have had a big effect on her mental health. It is difficult for her to accept that two of the most significant individuals in her life caught her off guard. After noticing minor discrepancies in Mendeecees, she allegedly started doing her own investigation. Explanations of his late-night pursuits and the causes of Sierra's unexpected busyness whenever Yandy sought to hang out. The fact that Yandy has been Sierra's closest ally for years, guiding her through the perilous waters of the entertainment industry and offering a shoulder to weep on during her own personal troubles, greatly heightens the sense of betrayal. The fans of Yandy are genuinely furious because they believe that their support was handled with such a calculated approach to determine whether the dates of these purported private meetings correspond with their public appearances. Users are following flight records and examining background information in old images as part of a comprehensive inquiry sparked by social media discussions. Sierra shared a picture of a dinner table with a drink similar to what Mendeecees typically have on a vacation. As several smart observers have pointed out, these little details are adding fuel to the fire and giving the story a more authentic feel with each passing minute. As new actors are drawn into the drama, the strain inside the broader group of friends is also getting to a breaking point, according to reports. Some people recognized something wasn't right but were reluctant to voice their concerns for fear of ruining a marriage or harming their standing in the community. People are therefore suspicious of one another and wonder who knew what and when, creating a paranoid atmosphere. The three individuals who were deceived are no longer the only ones. An entire town is being torn apart by the abyss it has grown into. Sierra reportedly feels alone and attacked. In the opinion of people close to her, she hasn't yet issued a categorical denial in response to the public's interest though. Instead, she has been sharing videos of herself working at the salon and enjoying her company as if nothing were wrong. Many of her followers see this as a purposeful and heartless reaction to the suffering she is purportedly creating. Mendeecees, on the other hand, appears to be attempting to play both sides by telling Yandy that everything is a mistake and advising Sierra to remain silent until the storm passes. If these reports are accurate, they present a very depressing picture of the reality that goes on behind the scenes and reveal a shocking degree of deception. Even their work lives have begun to be impacted by the instability, with sponsors and businesses allegedly closely monitoring the situation to determine whether or not to maintain their relationships. Everything that affects Yandy's personal life also affects her business empire because she is a well-known brand, which makes things much more challenging for her. She is battling to defend all she has created from the ground up, not just her heart. Even her detractors are starting to notice the emotional strain of attempting to perform for the cameras when her world is in disarray. The rumors about her melancholy gained even more credibility after she was recently spotted at a public function. She looks obviously tired and has the typical twinkle in her eyes, but the children are old enough to notice what is being said online. Yandy's primary worry, according to sources, is that the family dynamic would be jeopardized by their exposure to this degree of poison. She has always made an effort to protect her family from the negative effects of celebrity, but it appears that this time the wall is coming down. The web of dishonesty appears to become even more complicated as more people come out with their own tales. Some contend that this has been going on under the surface for a lot longer than anyone wants to acknowledge. Rather than being a contemporary occurrence, the thought of a long-term falsehood hurts the most because it implies that all of the previous year's hugs and smiles might have been phony. According to rumors, Yandy is currently living in a different area of their house or has even relocated to a hidden location to have some privacy to investigate things away from the media's relentless scrutiny. She needs time to assess if the damage is too great to repair or whether anything can be saved. Both sides are starting to resemble stillness, the quiet before a huge eruption that will permanently alter reality television. To find out if this is the official announcement, people jump. They have been waiting for a new notice to sound on their phones every time. The incredible level of attention in this story shows that people care about these folks and the sacredness of the connections they stood for. It serves as a warning about how even the closest relationships can be distorted by celebrity when the burden becomes unbearable. The story is far from over. As the play progresses into its next stage, we are beginning to learn about the legal measures being taken, as well as the possibility of a pivotal meeting that will ultimately unite everyone to face the music. The world is waiting to see who will be left behind in the rubble of a betrayed trust and who will emerge from this catastrophe with their dignity intact. The stakes are higher than they have ever been. Okay, as we speak, the story's last chapters are being written in real time. The details that will soon be revealed are much more startling than what we currently know, as Yandy is allegedly taking measures to safeguard herself and her assets. The story's last phase has shifted from the peaceful shadows of boutique hotels to the high-stakes realm of legal consultations and public power struggles. According to reports, She has been seen meeting with prominent lawyers in the city to talk about the future of her marriage and make sure that the alleged betrayal won't have a detrimental effect on her business empire. According to the claims, the melancholy has turned into a cold, calculated concentration on self-preservation because Yandy is fully aware that no one else will defend you in this area if you don't. A face-to-face encounter eventually took place behind closed doors at a private studio location, according to insiders, indicating that the tension between her and Sierra had apparently reached a breaking point. When Yandy finally demanded to know how someone she treated like blood could do something so horrible, everyone in the room apparently lost their voices. Anger was said to permeate the environment. Those who claimed to have been there backed Sierra, arguing that things were taken out of context and that the media was exaggerating a straightforward friendship. However, the growing amount of information accessible online presents an entirely different image that the fans cannot ignore. Sierra reportedly had to hide remarks on her social media accounts because of the severe public criticism that was beginning to negatively impact both her physical business locations and mental health. People are demanding accountability and the full truth. They are no longer content with ambiguous signals or cryptic captions. On the opposite side of this triangle, Mendeecees appears to be becoming more and more alone, as his former friends and even some family members find it difficult to defend his purported behavior in the face of severe public criticism. He apparently brought Yandy lavish gifts and enormous bouquets of flowers in an attempt to make amends. However, she is unfazed by material possessions when her confidence has been completely betrayed. The reality TV business as a whole is feeling the emotional effects of this whole affair, as other well-known celebrities weigh in and support Yandy while remaining out of the debate. Everyone involved is facing a moment of reckoning. As producers, we anticipate that the repercussions will significantly impact the production of the upcoming season. Rush to portray the raw realities of this broken bond. According to some sources, the current environment is too toxic for these people to work together in the same setting, which could result in a significant cast change. Fans are divided between those who want to witness a reunion and those who think Yandy should move on from the individuals who allegedly ruined her life and never look back. As time passes, more witnesses come forward to assert that they saw Sierra and Mendeecees together in different places during the previous few months, which strengthens the narrative of a persistent deception. The betrayal is serious, the sorrow is genuine, and the effects will be felt for years to come. As this family tries to find a way to continue, or chooses to break up forever, every little information that comes to light seems to indicate that some relationships are just too damaged to be repaired. A result that nobody wanted, but everyone feared. The silence that everyone feared remains the story's most potent element for the time being. Everyone is still keeping an eye on everything they do, though, in anticipation of the crucial post or interview that will put an end to the dispute, while the rest of the world discusses her personal suffering in public forums. Yandy seems to be concentrating all of her attention on her career and kids in an attempt to feel normal in a circumstance that is everything but normal. In a society where everyone is constantly observing and waiting for you to fail, the tale of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Sierra has come to serve as a warning about the cost of celebrity and the brittleness of trust.